What?
Okay, we're good. We're live. We had a little exclamation point there on the Facebook, but it's good. Boom, we're live. We're officially live. Episode 73 of the Brownwater Banter podcast. I am Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
Yes, sirree. And we have Matt here today from Go Topless Charters. Matt is sitting in the studio with us. He's going to be talking to us today about his charter boat service, what it's all about, what it's like to book a charter with them. But before we jump into that, we are going to mention our sponsor.
That's it.
You've heard it before on here. It's Dr. Robbie Williams at Southern Magnolia Smiles, man. Flashing him up on the screen. That's him and all of his staff. He's located right here in Ocean Springs on Washington Avenue. If you're looking for a great dentist, man, be sure to check him out. He's a big supporter of the show and has been for a very long time now. If you want to hit him up, he's on all the social platforms at Southern Magnolia Smiles on Facebook or Instagram, or you can give him a call on the landline 228-215-1202 or on the interwebs there at southernmagnoliasmiles.com. We do appreciate him as always, man. So anyway, episode 73, we got Matt here. What's up, brother? How are you doing today, man?
How's it going, y'all?
Oh, bro, doing great. Doing great. Tell us about the charter, man, about the charter business.
It's going good. It's going good. We're catching some good fish. The weather's starting to turn around for the better. I'm so tired of it being so cold.
It's bad.
Man, it's unreal. But no, the weather's starting to turn around here lately, and we're catching some good fish, and it's good. Everything's great.
Sweet, man. Well, tell us how you got started into it, man. What was the dream, man? How to get started?
Well, I've always lived on the salt. I've always lived on the water,
right?
The salt water, pretty much. I was born when my folks were working in the Bahamas, and my folks always told me that I was always on the water, swimming in the backyard and stuff. And when we moved over here, I was always fishing in the backyard. They had a house on the water and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was always on the water fishing and stuff like that. And for my birthday, a lot of times I'd always ask my dad to go fish and bring me fishing and stuff, and he would. And I've always known that I wanted to do something with the water and fishing and whatnot. And I bought my boat in 2006 and did 4 years in the Coast Guard. And when I came back,
nice.
Yeah.
I figured time is right to do a charter.
Hell yeah. What'd you do in the Coast Guard? Like, what was your gig in the Coast Guard?
For the first 2 years, I was on two different ships. For the first 2 years, I was a seaman and also an engineer, a fireman. And the last 2 years, I was a cook.
Okay, sweet. Did you enjoy it? Did you like being out there? I mean, it's different, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a different experience. Like I thought I had an idea of what the Coast Guard was before I joined it.
Yeah.
No,
it ain't quite. It ain't the same, dude. I was looking at it myself too when I was a little younger, and all the videos. Like, did you watch like the recruitment videos of the guys shooting out of the helicopters and hitting the drug runners' boats and the motor and like stopping them dead in the water and stuff like that?
Yeah, and I got to experience some of that. That part, like on my first boat, we were an ATON unit, which is like aids to navigation, which we were up in Kentucky, like replacing buoys and day markers and stuff. But my second boat, we were a medium endurance cutter. We did migrant ops and drug interdictions in the Caribbean.
So that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I saw them firsthand shoot the 50 cals
Wow.
to the Go Fest, the drug runner boats, and
Take them out.
Yeah. That's exactly what they did.
That's
too.
awesome.
Yeah. They line them up, man. Nail it down. So that would be pretty cool. But I guess it wasn't all that.
No. That wasn't all that.
He's like, no, not even a little bit of all that.
A lot of it is hurry up and wait.
Right. That's pretty much all par for the course for all military, I think.
Yeah, until it's go time, and then
then you got to hurry up and
you better
get your butt where
you better be ready.
Yeah.
But so 4 years in Coast Guard, grew up here all your life, been around the water, obviously love the water. You don't go in the Coast Guard if you don't like the water.
Right.
You roll out. I mean, do you go to another job or do you go straight into the charter boat business?
Well, I didn't really have a whole lot of direction before I joined the Coast Guard. Like I was waiting tables with Mikey's on the bayou for a while, and I was always complaining about not really having any direction or anything. So I joined the Coast Guard, and after I got done with that, I figured, because I'd always known that I've always wanted to have a charter boat. Like I always wanted to get my captain's license, have a charter boat, and kind of do that. When I was 19, I got my captain's license.
Nice.
And, when I think it was 2006. Jesus. Oh, you spilled it.
I did.
Party foul
already.
Party foul right out the gate.
Like 06, I think it was. I was like 20 or 21 in 06. I went and got my boat, and I mean, I had the boat already. I had some gear, but I still had to prepare a lot more for it. But I knew time was right to go ahead and go 100%.
Yeah.
What license do you have? You have just a six-pack license?
I have a step above of six-pack license.
Do you?
It's a master's license, and
right.
I also have a towing endorsement put on it.
Sweet. We always ask that because we got a good buddy who is JJ, who was in
Yeah.
the bigger boats. I mean, he tells us all this stuff about what he can and can't drive, and it's just like it's crazy. You know, the size of the boats that y'all can drive with those things.
What was the reason for getting the step up from the 6-pack, right, Joey?
Yeah.
That was called. What was
because the 6-pack's just your basic charter boat, right?
Right. It's an operator of uninspected passenger vessels. I mean, 6-pack is 95% of the captains down here have a.
Yeah, that's what I'm
license,
saying. So you
know.
took it up a step. Was there a reason? Was there like a market you were trying to tap into, or
Not really? I mean, my boat's a 25-foot open fisherman. I usually cater to like 4 guests.
okay?
Right.
Maybe I'll make an exception for a 5th one sometimes, but you know, I just wanted to have an upgrade. I just wanted to do it. You know, I never know you never know what you're going to do and get into, or keep your options open. Because I have a couple buddies that have tuna charters, the overnight trips and stuff like that, and maybe they need an extra per captain to come on board,
Right.
you know, so they can do their trip.
Yeah, opportunity. I like that.
That's
Always
sweet.
always be ready for a good opportunity.
The towing endorsement came into play a lot when I was working on the dredge. Right, like immediately after the Coast Guard, I tried to use my captain's license for something. I was working on a dredging operation up on the Tom Bigby.
Tom Bigby.
The Tom Bigby, yeah, that's right.
Say that 10 times
Yeah,
fast.
right.
no doubt.
The Tom Bigby River, but I mean that's some tough work, man. 712s, working 712s
On
doing that.
the boat.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Oil field. I mean, tugboats, anything, pretty much anything with a captain's license besides fishing, even fishing stuff work most of the time.
Is. I mean, it is. I love it though. I mean, I absolutely love it. I feel like I got the best job in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is your full-time gig, right?
Right. I've went full time with it at first because I mean I'm still an EMT with Acadian Ambulance. I graduated paramedic school not too long ago, but I'm still an EMT with Acadian Ambulance. But this has kind of turned into and morphed into my full-time gig as charters.
Living a dream, man.
I love it. I mean, it's great, and I have a great family that supports me behind it too. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. You know, if they were
Absolutely.
if you know they were kind of at ends with it, it'd be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, like who lets you go out fishing every day?
Right. It's like, I'm sorry, man, because I'm married. I'm sorry, baby. I'm gonna go fishing again today. You went fishing yesterday.
Yeah, that won't go.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody that was like a mentor for you as far as the business side of it goes, or was it just like people that you knew? Like, how did you have any coaching along the way?
You know, I grew up deckhanding when I was a teenager in my early teens and stuff. Until I joined the Coast Guard, I deckhanded in the summertime on a lot of the charter boats down here.
Yeah,
so many of them. I know. I started out deckhanding on the chandelier ones that go out for like 3 days. You know.
yeah.
I learned a lot on those, and I mean, there isn't really one captain in particular that there's a lot of them that I've learned different things from, and pretty much just on the job that I've learned a lot from it. But I gotta say my mom is responsible for my money management and my organizational skills.
Gotcha.
I mean, that just
Can
goes back
always
to when I was
trust on mom.
that just goes back to when I was a kid, you know, getting yelled at and stuff for not being more organized. If you always have a place for something, you'll never.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So being organized and stuff, I'd have to give credit to my mom for that one.
That's
No
good.
doubt.
That's what moms are for.
That's
No,
exactly what
Keeping
they
us
are.
knuckleheads straight, right?
For sure.
Yeah. No, that's I asked that question to a lot of different people that come in here, just because some people seem like they have a mentor. Some people, the common theme is the deckhand. You know, they worked on somebody else's boat getting started first, and that's kind of how they cut their teeth in the game or whatever. But you know, everybody's, I guess, got a different path as to how they do it. So that's cool. It's cool to hear your side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have one particular captain that I worked for like 10 years, you know, and you can't help but learn all kinds of stuff from him. But I
Jumped
worked on
around
so many boats.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably the 2 boats that I worked on the most were either Seabo's SYL or Captain Sherman's Beverly Ann. Those 2 I worked on probably the most out of any of them. But
we're trying to get Seabo in here too, man. He
that'd be a good.
He keeps ducking us. I don't know why he keeps ducking us, but he keeps ducking. I think we got a lead on him though. I think we're gonna get him in there.
Try not to get him during charter season because that guy is every day.
He's wide open,
Yeah.
man.
You ain't gonna be able to get a spare minute with him.
Yeah. Well, take us around your boat, man. Tell us about it. What you got? What you fish?
I fish all kinds of stuff. I mean, honestly, it's like anywhere from trout fishing to offshore. You know, when snapper season rolls around, we do snapper trips and stuff. It's a 25-foot open fisherman, and I repowered it with a brand new 300 Yamaha back in 2017. And I just put a new GPS unit in it. I got a new trolling motor put in it. So I've spent some money the last couple.
It's a boat, man.
I'm gonna flash that on the screen right now so people can see it.
Show that new Yammer hammer.
Yeah, what's that? The 300 you got on the back here, and it looks
Right.
like y'all are. I can't really tell where that's at, but y'all are holding up what looks like a redfish from here.
Yeah.
It was like Ship Island.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Looks like it was a good day, good solid day, huh?
Oh yeah, we have some good solid days out there, and the coast, it offers so much good fishing. There's so many places to fish. There's no shortage of fishing spots
For sure.
But anywhere from inshore fishing up in the bayous and the bridges, the bayous, the rubble piles, the reefs and stuff out to the islands. I love fishing the islands. I love being out there at the islands. They're really pretty.
Now, you said you can hold 4, you can stretch 5. Is that how you usually run?
My license, I can bring as many as I want, but comfortably on my boat, it's really like I try to stay at up to 4 guests.
Right.
Sometimes I'll make an exception for a 5th if like the trip is at stake of not happening and the 5th person is like a kid or something. Okay, sure. But I don't like to cram my boat full of 6 people or nothing like
makes
that.
it
It's
tough
just
to,
it's not really that desirable.
That'll work, man. That's awesome.
Little technical glitch. I had to fix it though. We got it. Ain't no problem. Keep on rolling, baby.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, no, you were there. It's just one. I think
there
was a little hiss on that, but we got it all figured out there. But yeah, but where are we at here? You said he did explain though. What's it like to book the trip with him though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you actually trailer your actually behind your parents' house, which you said, right?
Yeah. I keep my boat. I'm fortunate enough to. My parents live on the water, and they built a boathouse back there with a boat lift and stuff for their boat a long time ago when I was a kid. And I take full advantage of that. I keep my boat right there. It lifts up out of the water, and it's as easy as picking up my ice in the morning and coming over to mom and dad's and walking in the backyard and making sure I don't wake them up first. My dad's usually out there to meet me because he's into it. He loves what I do. He loves helping me get ready and stuff and talking to me and asking me about it and stuff like that. And he loves helping me get ready and stuff. So he's usually out there helping me. But then I go back there, lower it down, and off I go.
Then where do we meet you then? Or do you have a slip somewhere, or do we meet you at a dock, or how's that work?
Right. Yeah. My slip is right behind the Golden Nugget. It's at the Point Cadet Marina.
All right.
You go you pull into the Golden Nugget, and you'll see those little signs for the marina. You just follow them around, and my sign's like the first one you see when you go all the way back there past the parking garage.
But that sign was famous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that sign famous when the hurricane came around, wasn't it?
Yeah, that last hurricane that came, Zeta, I think it was the Zeta hurricane that came around. We're sitting there watching it on a weather channel, and I was worried because I chose not to take my sign down because a lot of other people took their signs down, and I'm like,
I didn't even think about that you left yours.
I left mine up. Everyone else took their signs down, and I'm like, man, I think I made a mistake. I should have taken it down. I'd better go. I can't go down there now to check it out because they've closed the roads and stuff. And I'm like, oh goodness. And we're watching the Weather Channel, and all of a sudden Jim Cantore comes on there, and he's in Biloxi, and I recognize the area he's in. I'm like, hey, wait a second. He's at Point Cadet Marina, and then I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait a second. That's my white box he's standing right next to. And my whole family is standing there like cheering Jim Cantore on.
Move,
4 feet this way. Come on. 4 feet, 4 feet. And when he finally does, we all just start screaming, yeah, good job.
You just got the biggest plug out of anybody down there.
you.
Yeah, it worked for leaving your sign out there.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I went down there the very next day, and he was actually still there. And I thanked him. I shook his hand. I said, hey, man, I want to say thanks, for helping me out and standing in front of my sign. That's my charter boat sign. He looked at me and says, man, the only thing one of my supervisors told me, he says, the only thing that they told me about last night was don't stand in front of the Go Topless sign again. Stop standing in front of the Go Topless sign. Because I think he did it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is funny.
I mean, while we're on that, man, explain how that name came about.
I got the sign flashed up here with some of your buddies with some fish here. But that's like the elephant in the room question.
Yeah.
Like where did that come from?
Man, I wish I had a great story. I need to think of something. I need to come up with something.
Yeah.
But it's really not that crazy. I mean, it all started with this one bachelorette trip that I did.
That's what I was gonna say, because Joey and I can write that for you right now. Exactly.
Yeah, we can play that.
Picked them
off.
up at the Golden Nugget. There was a ton of them.
Right.
There wasn't a fishing rod on the boat.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
I got a funny
Spitballing.
Remind me, I got a funny little story about one of my customers about that.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
but no, when I was like 16 years old, I had a Toyota Tacoma, and my buddy had a Jeep, and he was getting Go Topless put on the windshield of his Jeep. And I was like, all right, well, I'll get it put on my truck. So I was the kid in high school with the red Tacoma with Go Topless written on the truck. And everyone was like, what are you you can't take the top off. I'm like, just don't worry about it.
Just go with it, man.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
It means have a good time.
Right.
Just go topless. Have a good time. and it just kind of stuck. And I knew if I ever bought a boat, I'd have to name it Go Topless. It just my CO at my first unit didn't like it, and I had to scrape it off my truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the military boy. They don't.
Yeah, they'll shut you down real quick.
Yeah,
he didn't play that game.
It ain't up to you anymore.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's good though. I like it. I like how you kept it from old school to now. You're like, no, if I get a boat, I'm still going to use it.
Just bring
I
it
can't
with you.
drop it. It's got to be Go Topless. I was worried though at first. I was like, man, is this going to cost me trips? Like, what about a family coming on board?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Is it going to cost me trips? But honestly, no, I've taken out so many families. I've got more families than, man, it's unreal. And women come on board all the time. Families and everything. Everyone has a great time, and it's no one. I don't think anyone's even mentioned to me any sort of
name.
Yeah. It rubbed them the wrong way, perhaps, or anything. I've never had anyone ever say that to me.
Where do you feel like you get your business from? Is it referrals? Is it from casinos? Is it from your sign? I mean, literally just sitting out there in the marina like that. Do you pull your customers like that to like kind of ask them where they heard about you from?
I try to ask every one of my customers how they heard about me. Some I get some walk by traffic, not a whole lot, but it does help being another location right there. It's a great location. I love that location. But I think the majority of my bookings come from Google. I keep track every year. Well, I ask all my customers, how'd you hear about me? A lot of them are like, oh, I just went online. So Google, Bing, Google. It's usually Google or one of the booking websites I use, like Fishing Booker or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Now, some of them are word of mouth too, though. I mean, we're getting repeat customers too.
Right.
That's what it seems like. It seems like the trend is once you get a customer, I mean, they want to come back too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes you get people that's their very first trip to the coast. They've never been here before. Maybe they're not in a hurry to come back. Maybe they're only going to be here once in the next 10 years. Whatever, you take them fishing anyway. Yeah. But the people that come back every year this time, and they're going to be here anyway, or they might be coming down because they had a great time with you and they want to make this trip versus going to, Gatlinburg or Destin or whatever, because they know you, they know you had a good time with you. And they want to come down here. Plus, we have other things to do too, like casinos and stuff.
Right, it helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do we do? You do half days, full days. Is it just pretty much standard?
Right. Like I do half day inshore trips, half day offshore trips, 3/4 day offshore trips, full day offshore trips. I kind of structure my trips like I've like what I'm used to by growing up deckhanding on the boats. It's just kind of what I was accustomed to. Deckhanding on those day boats, either was on a half day, a 3/4 day, or a 8-hour day. And I think that's just about the same structure everyone uses.
Now, what's a 3/4 day?
3/4 day is 6 hours.
6 hours.
So half day is 4 hours, 3/4 day is 6 hours, and full day is 8 hours.
And what time y'all fire up in the morning?
In the wintertime, it's difficult because the tide's so low.
Right.
I gotta wait for the tide to rise up. So
get off the lift.
I had to cancel a trip one time because I took a picture of it. I was like, hey, I can't, there's no water underneath my boat. I can't get out of here.
Holy shit.
But no, we leave in the wintertime, we leave around like 10 o'clock, 10:30. We do like half day trips.
Okay. I would have thought a little earlier than that, but I guess the clients maybe don't want to get up that early either.
Let it warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
like you said, with the tide.
Yeah, once it warms up, like in the spring and the summer, we're 6:30, 6:45 in the morning.
Okay.
But it's just because the tide is so low that I can't get my boat in the water till the tide rises.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then when you pull around, I guess you use Gorn flows over there, or you could bait stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Danny's Gorn flows over there. I pull around there, get some fuel. I usually fuel up a day before or at the end of my trip, the previous day or something. But bait, I usually go to Fort Bayou Bait Shop right there.
Yeah.
But they got it all jacked up now with the bridge closed. Yeah, it's closing the 15th, right?
No, the 14th. The day after my birthday, they're closing.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
How long is that going to be closed for, by the way? How many days?
It's like
45 days.
Yeah, it's like a month, not just regular days.
That's going to be terrible.
And it's terrible for that because it's not only shutting down the bridge, it's shutting down the waterway too, from what I've read.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense though, because they're going to have to get in around there to work.
Right. So you're not even going to be able to get underneath the Fort Bayou Bridge from what I got out of the situation.
They were doing some stuff like that earlier on where I pulled up, I was on a trip or before the trip happened, I was pulling up to get some bait. And I was coming up to the bridge, and they were up there welding, and they had all kinds of sparks dropping down there. And I'm like, "Whoa,
I might not need to go underneath.
I got to go find some wet bait somewhere else, man."
Yeah. What do you like to target when you go out? I mean, obviously the customer is going to kind of dictate that, but do you tell them when they call, like, this is kind of what's going on right now, or what I prefer, or what's hot right now, stuff like that?
Well, it really depends on what kind of. There's a few variables that it depends on. It depends on what time of year it is. It depends on what they want to catch. I always ask my guests, like, I keep in the back of my head what I just got done catching, what's biting right now, what's really good.
Right.
I try not to throw that out there at them first, to try to, I don't want to deter them possibly from what they really want to do.
Right.
But I asked them, I said, well, what are you looking to catch?
Mm-hmm.
Have you fished down here before? Do you fish often? I try to get to know them a little bit to see what I can provide for them. If they say, we've never fished before, we just want to go deep sea fishing. We're from Louisville, Kentucky, and we've never been on the saltwater before. We want to go deep sea fishing. Okay. Well, I start going into a little bit about what deep sea fishing is, like the fish we're going to be looking to catch. Is there anything specific you want to see or do on this trip that you're hoping to do or whatever? I want to see some dolphins. I guess about almost guarantee you're going to see some dolphins.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing is, like, a lot of my trips from the out-of-staters. Oh, I think my mic.
No, you're good.
Around this cord.
You're good.
No, it's wrapped around the chair real quick. But a lot of my trips from the out-of-towners are like shark trips. They want to catch a shark. They love catching sharks. They don't love catching sharks, but they love the idea of catching a shark, going fishing for a shark.
It's funny you say that. I got a picture.
Yeah.
There it is, right there.
There it is.
Couple sharks on the board you got right here. Down at your place.
I think the biggest one we put on board was a 112-pound spinner shark, and that was a monster.
Come out of the water.
That's the thing. Like with us local people, we don't really want to catch sharks. Like Joey and I, funny enough, though, we had the only fishing video we put out as brown water is a shark catching video.
It was great. It was good. Well, we didn't really plan it out.
Yeah, it was kind of half-assed.
We dropped the girls off at the island and then drove out to Ship at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Looking for trout. I mean, how many trout are you going to pick up at Ship at 11 o'clock? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we drop over to FH911 and then caught a bunch of sharks. Had some kids with us. I mean, they had fun.
It's kind of the same situation you were talking about. People just wanted to catch something. And that's why I was bringing it up, because it is fun, though. I mean, especially if you've never done that before.
I think my buddy Devin said it right. The tug is the drug.
That's it. And it's nonstop. I mean, you can sit out there and catch shark after shark after shark after shark. Now, you're not keeping anything, but if that's what you want.
Yeah. The thing is, like us down here, the people that fish avidly, we're not out there trying to catch sharks.
No,
we're not out there trying to do that. We're trying to stay away from the sharks.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, like, to the people that have never seen one before, to the people that have never caught one, seen one, been on a boat, been on the ocean.
Yeah. That's the holy grail.
The closest thing is they've seen Jaws, and they think they're fishing in the ocean. Oh, I bet there's sharks.
Right.
They want to catch one, see one, hold one, get a picture with one. And that's their trip. That's like, that's like snowboarding to us.
Right.
You go to bucket list.
You go to what's the place up there? Like Gatlinburg or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, snowboarding's so cool. People up there are like, yeah, well, we did it.
We do it every day.
Exactly
We
right.
do it.
Yeah, that's true. But and they fight. Sharks fight big time. So I mean, it's even that much more fun.
They put up a lot of action. I mean, honestly, they put up a lot of action. They take drag. They zig here. They zag there. Sometimes they jump out of the water, and they put on a show.
Yeah,
you got to appreciate them, man. They're like,
and the daggum kids love them. Man. I mean, Jared's boy went with us, and a good buddy of ours, Joey Bart's kids, went with him, and they're used to just pretty much. I mean, Jade and
freshwater stuff,
and then he hook on one of these 3-foot black tips, drags pulling. Their eyes are this big, they light up.
And the big rods too. And the kids look at those big rods. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna catch something big." They look at the rod. They associate the big rod with a big fish,
right?
And they hold it and they're trying to reel, and it's all jacked up. And I try to help them. I put the gut buster on them, so they can do that. And I tell Dad to get behind them, or Mom to get behind them, so we can get a group picture while he's fighting it or something.
Yeah.
They have a blast.
So that's another thing. Like in today's age, you got to be a cameraman too, in addition to a good captain, right? Because that's just as much as part of what they're going out there for, the fish and obviously
and the trip,
in the experience, but the photos of it too, right? For your business and for their memory.
Right. Yeah. I've had to try to get a little better at taking pictures. I'm not that great at taking pictures, but I need to invest in a really nice camera though, because I see some of the other boats that have almost professional looking pictures of being on the boat with fish, and I'm like, man, that looks really good. My pictures are nice, they're nice, but they're not like that next level. nice, but maybe I will.
It helps. It helps with business too. People see that, like
Definitely.
you said, and like, damn, that looks like, professionally done or whatever.
Yeah.
And those fish out there are beautiful. You know what I mean? Like
they're great.
The colors on some of those stuff is amazing.
Sometimes especially in October, the redfish in October, that bright
They turn
orange
gold,
color,
yeah.
man, it's
Sweet.
beautiful.
Yeah. The ones in the photos that I shared a minute ago from your page were that color.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all bump out to snapper grounds when snapper opens? I'm sure y'all do, right?
I do. Yeah. I'm part of the state water crew. I don't have the federal permit,
Right.
but so maybe we'll get like a month or like 3 weeks here, and then maybe they'll stop it. Maybe they'll give us another 2 weeks later on down.
Then you got to fight the weather for the other half.
Well, that's the thing, like I'm a 25-foot boat, so when I can go,
Right.
I'm really weather restricted. So it's like if I get an opportunity to go snapper fishing, I gotta take it.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times I'll tell folks, I'm like, look, I got a 25-foot open fisherman. I do snapper trips, and if the weather's right, we can go. If it's not, we're going to kind of be restricted to either island fishing or inshore fishing, depending on how bad the weather is. Is that okay with y'all? And sometimes they're like, yeah, we just want to go fishing. I'm like, okay, great. And sometimes they're like, no, we want to go snapper. Well, okay, let's hope for some good weather.
You better check the forecast.
Let's hope for some good weather. And if it's not, then I don't know.
Yeah.
We got to go to plan B and go catch some white trout or something.
Do you have any good stories of like people that are just super green come out there and just just so much work on your part for the day, can some of them be difficult, and I don't mean like personality. I just mean like not knowing anything about being on the water.
A lot of the people I take out, they've never been on the water before,
Oh, okay.
Some of my repeat customers, they've been fishing before and stuff like that. And some of them, they don't know how to hold a rod. They'll turn it upside down and they'll be turning it wrong, and they'll just set it down on the ground and they'll go grab a drink. I'm like, no, put it in the rod holder. I've seen it happen. I've seen it fish bite and take it. It's gone. And that's an expensive piece.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a one-man operation most of the time. I'm a one-man show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll bring my buddy Tom along to help deckhand with me because we've fished together since high school. So he helps me out sometimes. But for the most part, I do everything myself.
So you're captain, deckhand, photographer, everything, all wrapped up in one.
Pretty much. And I never realized how much you have to be on your people skills when you're doing this business.
I would assume that's 90% of it, dude.
Right.
I know that the times that I've been out there chartered, whether it be in Louisiana or even sometimes we've taken some here in Bay St. Louis. I mean, if your guide is funny or personable or whatever, even if you're not catching a ton of fish, it just makes it that much more fun,
That'll make the trip, you really want to make them feel like they're having, you really don't know what people's caps are to having a good time. Everyone books a fishing charter because they want to catch fish.
Right.
If you're an avid fisherman, you go to Key West or something, you want to catch fish,
right.
You're not so worried about seeing a dolphin, being on a boat, the trip going out, the trip coming in, looking at the bait, holding you want to catch some fish. A lot of the people that come on my boat, they're having fun, like just the whole experience, everything, and the ride from the hotel to the boat, getting excited with your kids in the car and stuff, and meeting me and climbing on the boat and looking around. All this stuff is new to them. They've never been on a boat before,
right?
And they see the engine, they see the dolphins on the way out, and they're watching their brother or sister fight a fish, and they're excited for them, and they're just waiting for that next bite. It's all like encompassed into one big experience, and they have so much fun on every small little detail.
Yeah. That's the beauty of living down here. We can take that for granted.
Take it for granted.
Sometimes we do. It don't hit you the same way. Like you said, when we go up and snowboard, we're the same way. Like, oh my God, it's snow. And then guys that live there are like, yeah, it's snow.
Yeah, we seen it yesterday.
It snowed last night or yesterday.
Yeah. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
It's all about the perception from the customer too. Whatever they want to do that makes them happy. If they want to go catch sharks, I'll take them to catch sharks. It doesn't really matter. I want to see them happy. It's not that I would prefer to go catch speckled trout over sharks. If I was fishing by myself with like a buddy, we might go try to find some trout or something.
Right.
But, it all depends on what they want to do. If they want to go catch sharks, you know what? Let's go catch some sharks.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to go for trout, we'll go try for some trout. If whatever they want to do. And I'm happy if they're having it. If they're happy, I'm happy.
Now we got these corks sitting here at the table. We talked a little bit about that before we started rolling. Tell us the story behind that.
I started making these things about like September of last year. There really isn't any big inspiration behind it. I just got tired of paying like $8 a piece.
Absolutely.
For these things,
Yeah.
And the construction on them really isn't that difficult. There was some trial and error to it, but it's pretty simple. It's really not that difficult. I mean, I just
bend some wire, put some weights on there,
Yeah,
and tie it up, right?
I bought the inventory and I started putting them together, and I have a Facebook page for them, Go Topless Fishing Corks, and I've sold probably 100 of them.
Really?
I've sold 20 of them to some guy in North Carolina, someone in Louisiana, and I think one guy in Fort Lauderdale. But yeah, I mean, I sell them for like $375 a piece, and that's just to cover my costs of them and make a few bucks.
Yeah, you can't even find that in Academy for anywhere close to that.
The thing is, man, like the stuff you find in Academy,
especially weighted.
I'm not trying to knock on any brands or anything like that.
Yeah,
but a lot of the ones you buy,
do it.
But a lot of the ones you buy, you know, in Academy, once they bend,
jump,
you can't get that bend out. Like this is like 55-pound steel wire. You can bend it, and then you bend it back, and it's like you never touched it.
Right.
I'll put it in perspective this way. I'm still fishing on the same cork from last October on my rod and reel. I have the same cork that I was using since then. I mean,
sweet.
It
does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it lasts, for a while. But still buy like 5 of them if you want.
Yeah. What was that website again? Go Topless
Fishing. Go Topless.
Go Topless Fishing Corks.
It's just a Facebook page.
You
should definitely buy 10 of them though if you want.
Absolutely.
At least 10.
I don't know why you would only get one. That
No.
Right? Even though they last long. You still want to have backups in case you need them. So
no doubt.
Hell yeah. We've had some people in the comments lighting it up. Matt Smith said old Boatman's mate was talking about that earlier. Splash Matt said looking forward to hopefully working with. I don't know if he was talking to you or
I talked to him. Yeah.
So
they're doing some good stuff over there, Splash Matt.
I messaged them not too long ago.
I want the what's it called? He just got the new stuff in that safe
floor.
Safe floor. Yeah, that's legit.
What's that about? Tell me.
It's you got the
you have some on your console something on there, don't you?
Well, there's 2 different ways you can do it, and I don't want to mention the main whatever, but it's foam,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And they do the whole foam thing. Well, this safe floor, and I don't really know what I'm talking about. It's like I guess it's like a spray-in bed liner looking it's kind of around that.
Okay.
It's like granules kind of, and you don't slip on it. It's not like the foam stuff.
Okay.
I don't really know, but the safe floor from all the reviews I've ever seen is the safe floor is the way to go. Yeah. For sure.
I like it.
Yeah. And
I just got on their website not too long ago, and I put the information. I guess you can go on their information sheet and put your specs about your boat, and they can give you like a rough quote on what it would be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one from them, and I've been emailing them back and forth because it's something I'm considering. Because you look at my deck before I started doing charters, and then like I'm entering into my 6th year of doing charters. That deck is starting to get a little worn. All kinds of people walking on it all throughout the year. I need to do something to structurally stable it. And this seems like the best
safe
thing
floor
to do.
looks legit, and they can match your boat like any color you want. So if you want it red and white or red and gray,
there's one guy down here that does it, Glenn. He I talked to him not too long ago, and he texted me some pictures of his boat, and he says, "Man, it's the best thing I've done for a facelift on my boat. It was amazing."
Yeah.
Damn, add a little more,
little
years,
flair,
a few more years to your boat too, as well, right?
And you don't have to wash it as much. I'm sure you don't have to do as much cleaning. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, he said you just kind of wash it like normal, but it's a little less labor intensive.
Are you noticing that things are starting to pick back up, or did they ever slow down for you with the whole COVID in 2020 being as terrible as it is? Do you feel like it's we're coming out of anything right now?
I remember when COVID hit. See, my birthday is on Saturday, March 13th, and that was the last trip I ran last year. March 13th, it was a Saturday before I started getting all my cancellations and stuff. Like all of a sudden, COVID,
everybody went
everyone was hearing about COVID, but then like it actually happened, and everything shut down. And my wife still had to go to work, but all the daycares shut down, so it was daddy daycare for like a month and a half. I couldn't go to work because we had no one to watch the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And my folks wanted to do the social distancing thing because just to be on the safe side, so the kids couldn't go over there. So, but yeah, for about a month and a half, I was sending back, I was PayPaling back, Venmoing back deposits and stuff, talking to customers saying, "Hey, we're gonna have to reschedule this and that," because of everything that's going on.
Right.
And a lot of them were messaging me first, not me messaging them. But anyway, like I think it was around the beginning of May is when it really kind of slacked off. It was really heavy for like a month and a half, and then it slacked off where they let people start going out. They started opening businesses back up again and stuff like that. And it was about May, And man, I'm telling you, we got so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
We got
crazy kickback for you.
There was
busy.
people were like cooped up. There was nothing open, nothing to do.
crazy.
Like people were ready to go, you know?
I was so big. Like every year I get better and better with my numbers and stuff. Like
Right.
I get more and more charters as I grow as a business. And this year I was projected to do a little bit better than last year, you know, but
Right.
I didn't think I was going to do this much better than last year on trip wise. I mean, because everyone was so cooped up, they wanted to get out of the house,
Right.
You know? But yeah, it got really busy. I talked to a few other boats, and they said the same thing. It was
It's
doubled
been the
up.
common theme like around here. Everybody lost all their trips, and then all of a sudden, boom! It was
Yep.
you know.
That was one industry, y'all's industry, I think, that I don't want to call it COVID proof, but it like you said, it definitely did okay. It did good, you know, during the middle of all that crap.
We I think for the most part, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it made up for that month and a half of cancellations.
Hanging out.
Yeah. And do you think this year is going to be the same? Is it going to be, I mean, just what you're seeing, we're what, 3 months in now? I mean, can you kind of gauge what it looks like going into the summer?
You know, it's I always hope for the best.
Right.
It's gonna
Absolutely.
be a great year,
Absolutely.
great weather, no more hurricane every 2 weeks or something like we had last year. But you know, I mean, I was looking at my numbers and stuff, and I've ran more charters this year in January and in February than I did the previous 5 years. So if we're on that record, then it looks like for me it's going to be a pretty good year, and I'm looking forward to it.
So you keep a log of every trip that you ran year to year?
My customers, my guests on board, I try to call them guests, not customers. My guests on board, you know, their information, what we caught, where we went, the day, the water temperature, you know, what we used for bait. I have a big logbook that I keep track of every single
sports
trip.
Almanac's got all the keys to the world
every
on
single
it.
trip, you know, that I've ran since I started. This is my 6th season, so I go back and reference it sometimes, you know, in different times of the year.
Yeah.
Do y'all do charter boat captains? Y'all like obviously talk all throughout the day, and I'm sure when y'all get home and stuff too. Do y'all kind of try to help each other out? Like if somebody's having a cold day, you kind of shoot them a bit of advice and stuff like that. You have circles within the community that help each other.
Right. Yeah. You know, there's a few captains that I work hand in hand with. You know, we share information to each other.
Gotcha.
You know?
I figured it could probably be small groups, you know, guys.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a couple guys that I'm close to. You know, our wives are friends too. You know, stuff like that. You know, we'll have a beer every once in a while. But you know, as far as like the professionalism on the water and stuff like that, there's a few captains that I talk to on the regular, and we share information. We help each other out. If one of them calls me and says, "Man, I couldn't catch nothing in Back Bay," I said, "Okay, well, I had a good day over here the other day."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we'll help each other out. That being said, you know, there's a few captains I'd rather not talk to. That's with every
There's always
every industry.
That's with every business, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to name no names or nothing like that. There's a few of them that I'd rather not talk to. But you know, you're not going to get along with everybody.
No,
Right.
it's not possible.
That is
It makes me it wasn't any charter boat captains, but some of those fishing Facebook groups that we're a part of, like they'll have pictures of their boat and literally like their cork is right there, and then the next boat is sitting right, like just pulled up right on side of them. And I mean, it's funny, but you know, like how bad that pisses you off when somebody does that, you know. And I'm not saying it was charter boat guys; it wasn't.
It pisses you off when you're just out there fishing for fun.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
that's what I'm
regular.
saying. It's
And-
wreck guys.
and
Now
now I
trying to
have-
make a living out of it.
yeah,
Right. I got guys on board that are paying. You know, this isn't a cheap endeavor. This is, you know, charter fishing. It's expensive.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you're
It's a lot of
coming in from
cost.
out of town, it's an expensive thing. It's a luxury. You know,
Yep.
you're paying for a lot, and these folks are paying for a good experience and a good time and stuff. And now I got this guy that's pulling up next to me, almost casting his rod into my boat,
in the boat, yeah.
or casting his cork over my guest's line, and it's like, you can't see this. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
it's like, hey, you need a drink or anything, bud? You good? Can we
Yeah.
help you out?
But then again, you know, there are some guys that, you know, they pull up, but they recognize,
right.
you know, that you're on a boat, you know, and a lot of times if you're a experienced fisherman, you can tell when it's a charter boat, and you can tell
Yeah.
the one guy that's dressed a little differently than everyone else, and he's handling everything, and everyone else is just holding a rod. So you kind of give him a little space, you know, let him do his thing, and perhaps, you know, keep in mind that spot and come back to it later on. Is
Right.
more
Yeah,
likely
he's
what
sitting
they'll
there
do.
barking his GPS as he's driving off.
I'm telling you, man, I had one guy do that one time. I was sitting out there, and it's nothing special. It's just it's just one of my shark spots. You know, it's a spot that I've gotten some good luck on sharks. When some of my guests want to catch sharks, we go out there, and this guy pulled up to me. I'm telling you, he was no less than 20 feet off my boat, and we had lines out and everything. And he circles my boat, and then he hollers back. He said, "What y'all catching here?" I said, "We're just fishing, man." He goes, "What's under there? Is this a reef?" I said, "It's just deep. It's
A lot of water under
it's
here.
just deep, man." And I'm telling you, he circled me that one time, and he was not less than 20. He was not more than 20 feet off my boat. And we're about 3 miles past Ship Horn Island.
He's just trying to get your
just
spot.
looking at him. I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the world are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
There's got to be some buzzer
Bush
going
league.
off in your
It's
head
Bush
saying
league.
this might not be a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Just
Don't do it.
Err on the side of caution. Just
Well, Matt, dude, what if we want to send people to you, man, that they've listened to this and they want to come check it out, take a trip with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
just call me. You know, my phone number is on my website. My website. What's that address again? I just went brain dead.
That's okay.
GoToplessFishing.com.
There you go.
GoToplessFishing.com.
And I've been flashing the Facebook.
You're on all that, your Instagram,
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook, or where you at?
He's and I'll say it for the people listening on the replay here. It's at Go. Well, I'm gonna spell it out because it's chopped up here. At GOTOPLSS Fishing Charters, all together. At GOTOPLSS
Is that right? He's shaking his
Fishing
head.
Charters.
He's
That's
like,
not right.
no.
That's what's on your Facebook page.
LESS. There's no E in there.
You're just like we had David Kewins the same way.
David spelled his wrong too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
this
E-
whole time. That's been up there 6 years. This
Yeah.
has been misspelled for 6
Yeah.
Yeah,
years.
yeah. From
It's-
what we hear,
Joey,
Yeah, I see it.
You can see it from there.
That's the Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
David did the same thing on
Yeah.
here the other day. He spells his real REEL.
Yeah.
On his Facebook page, it's REAL.
Hit
REAL.
And he was like, "No, man, that ain't right." I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
come look, it's right over here." And you can fix it. You can go
Yeah.
on. You can go on your
I'll
on
go
your thing and
fix
fix
it.
it.
I'll
But
stick an E
it,
in there.
it'll still come up, even if people with that missing like that, and you fix it, it'll still come
Yeah.
up. So don't worry about it.
I'll stick an E.
But yeah, so people people won't forget it now because of
Yeah.
that. They won't forget it. But
And you can go through. I mean, right behind the where you're at. You're at the Point Cadet Harbor,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so go. You can just walk down there, get the phone number off the. If you're taking a stroll down there, get the
Right,
phone
yeah.
number off the
Stop
sign.
by.
And
Stop
check it
by.
out.
Maybe
yeah.
I'm cleaning fish at the time or something. I got
Yeah.
rack cards that I have, or like a business card right there in a little slot that you can grab.
Yeah.
That'll work, man.
What's the I got your number right here. Is this the number 228-217-3045?
They got that one.
There
we
it
go.
is.
There
Yeah,
we
we
go.
got
So
one,
people
right.
on the people on the audio version, y'all go check them out, man. Hit them up. Hey, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in here today and
Appreciate
hanging
it,
out
man.
with us, dude.
No problem.
We really
This was
appreciate
fun.
Yeah, good. I hope you had a good time. So
Yeah,
we
this was
appreciate
fun.
it.
We'll see you out there someday.
That's right.
Absolutely.
When we get out of the studio, we like to fish too. Some, but
I think we're going to be
just studio
talking
too.
about fishing a lot more than
Yeah,
we're going to be
for
fishing.
sure.
If the schedule keeps going like it's going for us. So. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.
That'll work.